Alright, this will be my fourth video of this localization, course, whatever you want to call it. Today we're going to look at a Korean game, actually. Personally, I find that a lot of Korean games on here are pretty good, actually. They have good storylines, and the localization's pretty decent, and they make good use of the mobile's mechanics. You can't do as much with mobile games as you can with console or computer games, and sometimes that can be really annoying. It can lead to games being really similar to each other, but other times it can lead to some pretty creative stuff. Really good games, really good developers, they figure out how to use the limited amount of space, the limited amount of technical stuff to make something pretty interesting. And sometimes the most creative stuff happen when you're most boxed in. Look at the games of the 90s, and for console games, they made those games more difficult to make them seem like they were longer. Or look at how Mass Effect did so much, even though it's 16 years old now. Some of those planets are really desolate looking, and they didn't really need to put too much effort into making those planets alive. They just needed to make them look desolate, because in actual space we have desolate planets, and they made good use of the technology they had at that time to make something pretty beautiful. So that's my opinion on a lot of Korean games, and hopefully we can show some of those going forward. Anyway, this is a game called Final Guild, fantasy RPG Beyond Will. And if we look down here, the email is Naver. So I looked online and I couldn't really find any information on Beyond Will, but I looked for Naver. Naver's a pretty big company in Korea. So, a lot of companies, they change their name when they're making these mobile games, which I just find interesting. So straight away we see here, new server grand open. I'm pretty sure it should be new server grand opening. That's a pretty basic thing, but a lot of time these updates, they don't take a lot of time in making them perfect, because they try to get them done really quickly. Everything else, add 5 named SSR hero. I feel like that's a little literally translated. I don't know much about Korean, but I'm assuming this is pretty literally translated. Enjoy an exciting story with a beautiful world map and great real-time battles. A little literally translated. We wouldn't say things like enjoy an exciting story. I mean, it's okay, but these are some things that I sometimes find that I know this game was not made by a native English person. An open map, maybe an open world fantasy RPG, completely different from other games. It's maybe an exciting story. Real-time party hack and slash combat. A rift to another world is opened up in the Eldir continent, and with it the demon army pouring out of it and threatening the continent. So the verb tenses here is kind of weird. A rift to another world has opened up in the Eldir continent, and with it a demon army has poured out of it and now threatens the continent. So, once again, they could take a little bit more time into making this description better, but a lot of people will never read this. So it's important, but I understand why they don't put so much time into it, because a lot of gamers just want to play the game, and the best way to play a game is to download it and test it, not by reading. Then we got this real retro style RPG, create your own story by moving the beautiful open map. That is, you're not really moving the map. So I think they literally translated this, and a lot, if it's like Chinese, the sentence did not have a subject. So this is what happened when you use a translator. When you use the translator, this should be create your own story and move about this beautiful open map. And if I was selling this game to an English market, I would change the picture here to English. But that's just me. Build an army and defeat your enemies. This can go. Large skills battles with 24 heroes. Alright. So we can look at here, and it's pretty good at showing what the game is. Typical RPG game for a mobile game. where you probably don't need to do much while playing the game. It just plays by itself, and it's pretty simple. Gorgeous real-time hack and slash battles, exciting action that wipes out large enemy units. Like, this is kind of weird. Don't even know how to phrase that. It just sounds kind of weird because it's not the action that's wiping out large scale enemies. So it could be get in the action and wipe out large scale enemy units, or something like that, or large amounts of enemy units. A deep and engaging story. Enjoy this charming story with over 100 illustrations. I'm not really sure the players really care about 100 illustrations, but considering a lot of mobile games never do have any real graphic novel element put into them, I guess it is interesting, but I don't know if a lot of players would care. But otherwise, I think these pictures are okay. As I could say, they could have improved them a little bit, but it's not too bad. Alright, let's play this game. The music's pretty good in this game, I think. It sounds like it actually goes with the game. It's not like some of the other games we played before, which sound like they're trying to be something else and they don't really go with the game at all. Alright, hopefully this will work. It's pausing. Let's go back here. And it's frozen. Oh. There we go. Alright. It's taking a while. Alright. I've already played this game a little bit, so we kind of missed the beginning. But here, there should be rankings. There should be tasks. See, especially when you have dividends, you have to choose one. Don't make a mistake and then make it better in some other area. Okay. Well, you did manage to do it, Yulana. You passed the test. You can stay here for the time being. Alright, pretty good translation so far, at least for one sentence. Thank you, but I'm worried that I jeopardize the safety of this place. Yep, thanks to you, things got very interesting. I'm really sorry, but if things go as is... Alright, so this is kind of like in Chinese where they have like the although but, I'm guessing. This so should not be here, it should be, but if things go as is, no one is going to survive. Or if things keep going like this, no one is going to survive. The so here is not necessary. Stop talking weak like that. We're going to reserve the situation from now on, so be prepared. How are we going to change this situation? I'm not going to read this. I'll just point out stuff. Alright. Well, it's very common in Chinese games, so I'm guessing in Korean it's kind of similar to get could and can wrong. So then at least the destruction of the continent can be prevented. The demons. Either they're all dead or they're all infected with the demon's curse. So we're seeing some mistakes. The story is generally okay. It's easy to understand, but there's some things here that could have been corrected. And some of these are a little bit more difficult English things. It's kind of unclear what this research is, but I'll go along with it. It's not the best writing. their numbers are large. I would say you defeat them region by region, not by region, one by one. And of course, even by going region to region, I don't know, the core of the operation's kind of weird wording. So the main goal of the operation is to defeat the enemy's main forces with a small number of elite units in our guild, and destroy the remnants by gathering the resistance forces of each country. Above that, I don't even know what that means, kind of weird. So yeah. Anyway, well, this is just a short thing of showing this game. Even with Korean games, there's some issues. Like, obviously this company did a lot more work than a lot of mobile game companies do. They have some good artwork, the artwork moves, they have a story going on here, they got a map, which I can show you. You know, they got background lore here. It's a pretty good interface. So like, this is pretty cool. Like, there's a lot to do here. It's a cool map. Just it seems like it'd take a long time to play this game as well. So I'd be interested in playing this game for mobile, because it seems like there's some good lore in here. The only problem is that there are some pretty basic issues with the English that could be improved, and especially if this is a reading heavy game, you want to get the English perfect, because otherwise people might not understand the story and not continue to play. Simple as that. So yeah, thanks for joining me this time, and hopefully next time we have some other game to play. Adios.